So apparently Drew Jenkins had court on yesterday for the custody of his child, Deshaun. He showed up in the same outfit that he wore to every other hearing. On Desiraye's side of the court sat Arlita, Drew's sister, and Drew's mother. Again, this is in support of Desiraye, not Drew. Desiraye was awarded the visits that Drew was supposed to initiate in the first place. She was also awarded alternating overnight weekends. She is now going to be listed on Deshaun's medical record and listed as a primary contact on Deshaun's 2025 to 2026 school year. The judge made it clear that neither Drew or Desiraye are allowed to speak on this case on any social media in any way, shape, form, or fashion. The judge also reiterated that Stephanie is not allowed to speak on Deshaun or Desiraye on any social media platform. The judge emphasized to Drew that if this was not respected, they would have an expedited court hearing, and that the next time that they return to the courts, it would not be so pretty for Drew. So a huge win for Desiraye and Deshaun. Hopefully Deshaun will be out of this terrible situation soon. On top of that, the resilient Jenkins lost their storage room. This storage room consisted of all of their belongings that used to be in their one-bedroom house. So for the people who bought things from their Amazon wish list when they first went viral, those things have now been auctioned off. Stephanie tried to make it seem like it was not a big deal. All of this is happening while there is rumors with screenshots circulating accusing Drew of cheating and being caught. Stephanie keeps addressing the claims saying he's not cheating, but Stephanie girl, are you trying to convince us or you?
The resilient Jenkins. So Drew had posted his job on TikTok, and now people are calling his job checked and fired. I don't understand this. So a lot of folks keep saying he need to get off the game, people on the PS5 all day long. He need to try to contribute something to the family and make money so he pays child support and do right things by the kids and all that stuff. But the moment he get a job and post his location and where he work at, you guys want to get him fired? I don't understand this. Drew, if you're watching this, stop posting everything. These folks don't need to know where you're working at, okay? They don't. They don't need to know your hours. They don't need to know anything like that. What purpose and what benefit does it give you to let these folks know where you're working at?
Hold on to your seats, because the courtroom saga of Desiraye versus the Jenkins clan just delivered a jaw-dropping verdict that's got the internet buzzing with righteous glee. Picture this. Drew Jenkins, his mother, sister Arita, and their husbands all paraded into court, probably thinking they could keep pulling their tired strings. But the judge? Oh, he saw right through their flimsy act. Desiraye, the real hero here, walked in with nothing but grace and walked out with her motherhood reaffirmed. Her son, Deshaun, is finally getting the chance to reconnect with her, starting with a visit this Monday and his first overnight in years the following week. This isn't just a win, it's a blazing triumph for a mother who's been dragged through the mud by Drew and his wife, Stephanie, whose scheming has been nothing short of exhausting to watch. I mean, let's talk about Drew for a second, rolling into court in that same ratty hoodie and sweats, looking like he just stumbled out of a nap. Does he even take this seriously? The judge clearly didn't think so, laying down the law with a warning that if Drew dares defy this order, full custody goes to Desiraye. No games, no second chances. Now, let's unpack the mess that led to this moment. For years, Drew and Stephanie Jenkins have played every dirty trick in the book to keep Desiraye sidelined. Fake job excuses, sketchy GoFundMe campaigns, social media shade thrown left and right. It's like they thought they could rewrite reality itself. Their audacity was next level, but their so-called master plan, it imploded spectacularly in that courtroom.
So I think it's incredible that Deshaun will be reunified with Desiraye. Having said that, I have a few things I just want to share my thoughts about. The first being, they're fucked. Like, they're so fucked. It's either Drew's gonna go to jail for non-compliance and contempt, or they're gonna have to try and silence a child, which, get real. Which it does seem like Deshaun is a pretty quiet kid, and you will have to pull the information out of him. But I think over time, Des will probably find things that she would not be pleased to learn. Like we all speculate. The other thing I wanted to say is, God bless Desiraye, because what's about to happen in her home is going to be awful. I have dealt with a toxic parent. My stepdaughter, her mom is surprisingly somehow keeps my stepdaughter alive, but definitely not any kind of parent. The toxicity that would come into my home after my stepdaughter would spend time with her mom was a fucking nightmare. I know this isn't exactly the same, but my stepdaughter's biological mom is going to be the equivalent of how Stephanie is going to impact Deshaun and Desiree's household.
Desiraye didn't just show up. She stood tall, radiating a mother's unshakable love. She made it crystal clear she's not here to tear Deshaun away from the father he knows. All she's asking for is a fair shot. 50-50 its custody to rebuild the bond that's been unfairly stolen from her, that's the kind of selflessness you can't fake. Unlike the Jenkins' endless stream of manipulative stunts, the judge didn't just rule in her favor, he dismantled their whole facade, exposing every lie they've spun online and beyond. What's so infuriating about Drew and Stephanie is their sheer nerve. They've spent months, no years, trying to erase Desiraye from her own son's life, painting her as the villain while they played the victims. Stephanie, in particular, has been insufferable, acting like she's the gold standard of parenting, while Desiraye's been fighting tooth and nail just to see her kid. The social media posts, the crocodile tears, the carefully curated narratives. It's all crumbled under the weight of truth. Desiraye's focus has always been Deshawn's well-being. She's not out to upend his world. She just wants to be part of it.
And I just hope Desiree is prepared to deal with this. No matter how much time she gets to spend with him, unless it's full-time, there's no way to eliminate the parental alienation. There's no way to eliminate the toxic mental fuckery. The worst part of all of it is Deshawn is going to be the one in the middle. He's going to be the one dealing, just like my stepdaughter, he's going to be the one dealing with the mental anguish of what's right and what's wrong. Which household is, he's going to be so internally conflicted. On top of whatever he's already been through. This is a lot of mental load for someone under 10 years old. Like, who's good, who's bad, which house is good, which house is bad, who's right, who's wrong, who do I love more? Like, you know damn well they're going to put him in that position. And by they, I mean Stephanie. Once Deshawn has to go there and fucks things up for them, they're done. Then Desiree will have probably a peaceful relationship with Andrew again. So yeah, I just wanted to throw those few little tidbits out there. Food for thought. Shit's about to pop off for the Jenkins-Thompson crew of 7. Because either he goes on those overnights and Desiree's probably gonna find things out over time, or Drew goes to jail and Stephanie's left fending for herself, which then she'll run back to her mom and she'll get to keep using for a while until she finds another piece of shit loser man, and I bet her oldest daughters will want to stay with that man. I mean, with her mom. I could predict the whole future of the Jenkins. Come back in a couple years and let me know.
Compare that to Stephanie's "you can't have him" tantrums. And it's clear who the real mother is here. The court's ruling isn't just a legal win, it's a loud public smackdown of the Jenkins' ego-driven campaign. Drew can't even stick around during Deshawn's visits with Desiraye. He has to drop him off and go. No hovering, no control. Starting this week, Desiraye picks the spot for their first visit, followed by an overnight the next week, then another visit, and another sleepover. It's a structured, thoughtful plan that puts Deshawn first, something the Jenkins clearly never bothered to prioritize. The internet's been watching this drama unfold like a soap opera, and let me tell you, the collective cheer for Desiraye is deafening. After all the chaos, the lies, and the Jenkins' relentless attempts to control the narrative, justice has finally spoken. Desiree's not just getting her son back, she's reclaiming her voice, her rights, and her place in Deshawn's life. It's a moment to celebrate, but let's not forget the cost. Years of heartache caused by two people who thought they could outsmart a mother's love. Spoiler alert, they couldn't. And honestly, if Drew shows up to the next hearing in that same hoodie, I'm gonna need him to at least pretend he cares. Stick around to the end of this video for more tea. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next chapter of this wild ride.
W's in the chat for Arletha going to court with Desiraye against the Resilient Jenkins so she can get Deshawn back. If y'all haven't been paying attention to the Resilient Jenkins, baby, y'all need to tap in, okay? The Resilient Jenkins are a hot mess. They are the family of 7 that was living in the 1-bedroom apartment that ended up getting evicted because they did not pay their bills, and now they're living in the hotel. They ended up getting put out of the hotel because they had too many people in the hotel. Now they're in an extended stay hotel, but they have to leave the extended stay hotel every 28 days. I think that's a lie, but who knows? So they went to court because Drew has been alienating Desiraye, which is Desmond's mom, from him. She hasn't seen her son in 3 years. He told us, and Stephanie told it, well, he didn't tell us. Well, he said it on live. Stephanie and him talked about on live that she hasn't been in her son's life because she was struggling with drug addiction and she was going through rehab. Come to find out that was a lie. She's been clean for years. She actually has an apartment with a room that Deshawn can live in. So you mean to tell me that Drew is alienating his mother from him with no apparent cause of danger, neglect, or abuse so that he can get food stamps and welfare for him and Section 8 through the homeless program that he got kicked out of? This gets worse and worse every day. I hope the courts give Deshaun back to his mama so he can live in the house, in the room, and not be homeless with these people. Okay, I'm trying to be nice, but I'm mad. Thank you for Arlita stepping up for Desiraye and helping her get her son back. No healthy, loving mom should be away from their kids. Key words: healthy, loving mom.
The courtroom drama surrounding Desiraye and the Jenkins family took an even sharper turn, revealing just how low Drew and Stephanie are willing to stoop. Word from the courthouse paints a vivid picture. Drew's mother and sister were there, yet he barely acknowledged them, slouched in his usual unkempt attire, radiating disrespect. Online chatter, particularly on Reddit, suggests the judge has reached his limit with Drew's antics. Apparently, his one-word responses and dismissive whatever attitude didn't just irritate the court. It practically screamed that he views this entire process as a nuisance. The judge reportedly laid it out plain and simple. If either side ignores the court's orders, they're facing contempt charges. And for Drew specifically, the warning was razor sharp. Step out of line and Desiraye could walk away with full custody. That's not just a threat. It's a neon sign flashing that the court sees through his charade. Honestly, it's exhausting to witness someone so blatantly indifferent to their own child's future, and Stephanie's puppet master energy behind it all only makes it uglier. What's crystal clear is that the judge isn't buying Drew's half-hearted excuses or his sloppy courtroom demeanor.
So I was just eating lunch and the news came back. Drew did show up to court today, and he showed up in his normal hoodie and attire. It was a win for Desiraye. It was a win for Deshaun. All the energy that we've been sending, I'm so happy. I couldn't be happier. What I want to point out about Desiraye is that the whole time Desiraye was saying, I want to make sure that he's not ripped from his home. I want to make sure, that his mental health is okay. I want to make sure that he's being supported. I don't want to just rip him out of somewhere that he knows. And that's a mom's true love, right? She doesn't want to just rip this boy out and say, you have to be here, because she knows that that's going to upset him. And that's what a mom is. Miss Thompson's like, no, you can't have him and we need to get a lawyer. That's not a mom, which just solidifies that she's not a mom. Kudos to Desiraye for putting the boy first. So apparently the judge ruled that Drew cannot stay at the visits. He has to drop Deshaun off and leave. The visit this week will be wherever Desiraye wants it to be. And then next week will be the first sleepover. And then the week after that will be just a visit. And then the next week will be a sleepover. Arlita, Jolene, Drew's mom were present, and Drew ignored them.
Social media buzz suggests the court called out his presentation as outright rude, which tracks given his track record of treating this case like an inconvenience. Desiraye, on the other hand, continues to shine as the grounded, selfless parent in this mess. She's not just fighting for herself, she's ensuring Deshaun's needs come first. The court's ruling reflects that, mandating that Desiraye's name be front and center on all of Deshaun's school documents and listing her as the primary emergency contact. If Drew fails to comply, he's risking contempt, which could unravel his entire grip on this situation. It's a powerful move that cements Desiraye's rightful place in her son's life, and it's hard not to feel a surge of pride for her resilience against the Jenkins' relentless tactics. Then, there's Drew's last-minute stunt that nearly derailed the whole hearing. Just 24 hours before the court date, he allegedly tried to pull the plug, claiming some sudden, unavoidable work training conflicted with the hearing.
If either party doesn't follow the court orders, they're going to be held in contempt of court. It said on Reddit that the judge is super fed up with Drew, and his excuses and his presentation in court is disrespectful and rude. So at one point, it said on Reddit that the judge said, if you don't follow these rules, I'll just give Desiraye full custody. I don't know if that's true because I'm at work and I haven't been able to watch the live. She did say that neither Stephanie nor the other party should be posting Deshaun or about Deshaun. Des, this is a huge win, and I'm so pleased about this one. Des is to be listed on all school papers. She is to be the first emergency contact, and if he doesn't apply, he will be held in contempt of court. So basically, the judge knows Drew doesn't give a shit about Deshaun, that this is all a power play, that Stephanie's behind the scenes. Apparently, Drew was very disrespectful, giving one-word answers, saying whatever, slumped over. I'm going to post a picture. But at the end of the day, it was a win. It was a win for Desiraye. It was a win for Deshaun, and this is a new beginning. This is a new beginning for Deshaun and a new beginning for Desiraye, and I think this might be the end of Drew and Stephanie. Call it a hunch. She's having the day she deserves today. I hope everybody has a great day. It just shows you the power when people come together with good intentions. Good always wins over evil. It might not be right away, but it happens.
Really, Drew? Weeks of preparation, and you conveniently remember a mandatory commitment the day before? It's the kind of transparent dodge that makes you roll your eyes so hard they might get stuck. Desiraye, unshaken, refused to let him manipulate the schedule, insisting the hearing go forward as planned. Her firmness is a masterclass in not letting the Jenkins chaos dictate her fight. The internet's been whispering about some deeper layers to this saga, but I'll hold off on diving into that until the facts fully surface. Let's just say the Jenkins' credibility is hanging by a thread, and I'm watching closely to see who's really worth rooting for here. This ruling marks a pivotal shift for Deshawn and Desiraye. It's not just about visitation schedules or school forms. It's the start of a new chapter where a mother's love gets the recognition it deserves. Drew and Stephanie's power plays have backfired, and the court's message is loud: no more games. The judge sees Drew for what he is, a man more interested in control than his son's well-being, with Stephanie orchestrating the mess from the shadows. Desiree's victory here isn't just personal, it's a beacon for anyone fighting against manipulative tactics in custody battles. The road ahead looks brighter for Deshawn, and I'm here for every second of this justice unfolding.
So, in the Resilient Jenkins, a lot of people, specifically one creator here, is questioning Desiree's past. And this is why I admire Desiraye from the Resilient Jenkins story so much. Because, yes, Desiraye has a past. But you know what Desiraye did? She gave her son temporarily to her, not significant other, but to his dad, you know? I think Desiraye really trusted Drew to really take care of Deshawn while she was trying to fix her situation, her legal situation, and just get herself healthy. We all make mistakes, and for you to keep dragging up somebody's past when there's no current proof that that's the life that she's living now is a little privileged, and it's really disgusting. Like, I think it's ridiculous how focused some people are on other people. I mean, I talk about it, but there are people that like go through the details and will post. This is what I don't like. I don't like the essays that are attached to videos on TikTok because I don't come on TikTok to read. I have books that I like to read. I don't come on TikTok for that. Okay?
Desiree's unwavering commitment to her son shone brightly in the courtroom, a stark contrast to Drew Jenkins' predictable negligence. Her attorney tipped her off about Drew's attempt to skip the hearing, but she didn't flinch. With steely resolve, she declared she'd be there, no matter what games Drew tried to play. That alone spoke volumes. Here was a mother who refused to let her child's future be derailed by someone else's irresponsibility. Her presence was a powerful statement of stability, a beacon of dedication in a case muddied by Drew's endless excuses. Had he followed through on his absence, it would have been the final nail in the coffin of his credibility, proving once and for all that Deshawn's well-being ranks far below his own convenience.
Can develop with each kid.
The literal judge said you cannot post him anymore yesterday. They told you that yesterday. It's been 1 day, and you could not listen for 1 day. Stop posting him.
As well as he's been working gig work for quite some time now, and it's been an adjustment for the kids. They're not used to him being gone so often.
Stephanie says Drew's never even home, right? He's not home overnights anymore, and he's not home during the day because he's doing gig work. So why do you have his son? The son that his mother wants custody of. Because it sounds to me like if his dad's never home, then his mom should have him. Right? That's how it normally works. Why do you, the girlfriend, think that you have rights over a child that is not yours?
And she very well may be our last baby. Honestly, I'm really ready to have my body back. But more...
Stephanie bought herself something new. Instead of taking her kids somewhere, like, I don't know, urban air, like you promised them, but you don't have the money for that, but you could spend money on a ring light?
But, true to form, Drew did show up. 10 minutes late, mind you, sauntering in with a flimsy story about a work call. The audacity of it all is almost laughable, if it weren't so infuriating. Who shows up to a custody hearing where their child's future hangs in the balance and thinks a half-baked, "I was busy" excuse will fly? Drew's appearance was frankly an embarrassment. He strolled into court like he was headed to a corner store, not a legal proceeding. Picture this: a black hoodie slung carelessly over his head, a fanny pack strapped across his chest, house slides slapping the floor, and baggy shorts that screamed zero effort. It's the same tired outfit he wore last time, as if he's allergic to showing an ounce of respect for the court or his son. This wasn't just a fashion misstep, it was a glaring display of apathy. a visual middle finger to the gravity of the situation. The judge didn't hold back, calling out his unprofessional demeanor, his inappropriate attire, and his consistent pattern of dodging accountability.
Stephanie posted a video about Drew starting his new job, so let's talk about it. So Drew got a job, and well, it's not really much of a new job. It's his old job. He got his old position back. And Stephanie was talking about how much of an adjustment it is because Drew is gone at night and she has to get the kids to sleep by herself, and that the kids are used to him being at home. Blah, 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 blah. Well, you know what I think? I think Arlita's son that she has with Drew finds it very hard of an adjustment to not have his dad in his life at all, but who am I? Also, you guys know that yesterday they had court and Desiraye did get more rights to Deshawn. And before the court date yesterday, a few times, I think the judge has asked Drew to tell Stephanie to stop posting about Deshawn and Deshawn, like, period at all. Yet, Stephanie is still posting Deshawn. So how I see it is they are going to make it very easy for Desiraye to get Deshawn back because the judge has clearly said that if they go against court orders, Desiraye is going to get full custody of Deshawn. So we'll see how this plays out. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments.
She made it crystal clear that this case is about a child's life, not Drew's ego, and his behavior paints him as utterly unfit to prioritize Deshawn's needs. It's a pattern so blatant it's almost caricature-like. Drew's emotionally absent, mentally disengaged, and clearly not up to the task of responsible parenting. The court's rulings further cemented Desiraye's victory in this ongoing battle. She's been granted unsupervised visits with Deshawn, a huge step toward rebuilding their bond without Drew's controlling shadow looming over them. Overnights are also on the horizon, giving Deshawn the chance to reconnect with his mother in a meaningful way. When school resumes, Desiraye's name will take its rightful place on Deshawn's emergency contact list, pushing Stephanie out of a role she's been clinging to undeservedly. This isn't just a procedural win, it's a direct rebuke of Stephanie's behind-the-scenes meddling, trying to insert herself as the central figure in Deshawn's life while sidelining his actual mother. The judge's frustration with Drew is palpable, and it's no wonder. His cavalier attitude and blatant disregard for the court's authority are impossible to ignore. Desiraye, meanwhile, continues to prove she's the parent Deshawn needs, showing up prepared, composed, and laser-focused on her son's well-being. The contrast couldn't be clearer, and the court's decisions reflect that reality. Stephanie, if you're out there taking notes, it's time to step back. This isn't your stage to hog.
Hi, good morning. I actually don't want to know anything else about the fucking resilient Jenkins unless it's coming from the children. This has actually gone from you guys glamorizing poverty to these people are sinisterly, maliciously, and very much so in your face assaulting those fucking kids. It's more than just poverty trauma. I can't even fucking believe this shit. You know, I had already caught on to the fact that Stephanie is a very manipulative person. And I was trying to help you guys understand that when you guys got lost in the sauce with, oh my God, are you then saying that Drew is a victim? No, I'm not saying that Drew is a fucking victim. I'm pointing out something that is very fucking important that you guys need to understand. This is a woman who had 2 kids with an SO offender. She willingly, on purpose, had those fucking kids after she knew that that person had assaulted kids under the age of, what, 14? There was a 14-year-old, there's like a 7, 8-year-old, and then his mother who was 60 fucking years old. For the sake of getting her fucking needs met, okay? Stephanie is someone who will accomplish a PDF file. It is different than Stockholm Syndrome complicity where you just kind of like dissociate. No, she is actively grooming her fucking oldest child in real time on live. This is why you see Addie inserted into the fucking relationship with Drew and fucking Stephanie. This is why Addie's birthday party was the most extravagant fucking birthday party out of all the goddamn kids' birthday parties.
While Drew Jenkins slunk into the courtroom looking like he'd rather be anywhere else, Desiraye arrived with an aura of unshakable determination, backed by a formidable crew radiating support. This wasn't just a mother showing up to fight for her son, it was a woman surrounded by a coalition of allies who believed in her cause with fierce conviction. Her presence was commanding, her composure a testament to her strength, and her supporters, family, friends, and advocates, formed a wall of solidarity that filled the room with unspoken power. They weren't just there to fill seats, they were a living endorsement of Desiraye's truth. their energy practically daring anyone to question her right to be Deshawn's mother. And in a twist that must have stung Drew to his core, his own family turned the tables on him. His sister, her husband, his mother, and Arita's husband didn't just show up. They stood firmly by Desiree's side, a bold and public rejection of Drew's behavior. This wasn't a subtle shift, it was a seismic statement. Drew's own kin, the people who've known him longest, chose to align with Desiree, signaling they're done enabling his reckless disregard for his son's needs. Their presence behind her wasn't just symbolic. It was a loud, undeniable vote of confidence in her fight. Imagine the weight of that moment. Drew's mother, sister, and their spouses standing shoulder to shoulder with the woman he's tried to erase from Deshawn's life. It's the kind of betrayal that cuts deep. Not because it's personal, but because it's so public and so justified. They're not just tired of his excuses. They're openly acknowledging that Desiree is the parent Deshawn deserves. Add to that the fierce advocate from Rights and Rights by her side, a legal powerhouse ensuring every move was calculated and every argument airtight.
This is why Addie gets the most stuff. This is why Addie cannot be on live talking, because you will then recognize that Addie is a part of the relationship with Stephanie and Drew. They're in a one-bedroom hotel room fucking in front of those motherfucking kids. There is race play a part of this, because both Stephanie and Drew fetishize the opposite fucking race in a very weird and detrimental fucking way, and you cannot tell me that they're not using those kids to play out some weird sexual fucking fantasy in that one-bedroom fucking hotel room. I'm sorry, but I would not be fucking surprised if Deshawn comes out, or he goes to it comes out in a couple of fucking weeks when he finally gets to his mother, when she finally gains full custody of this kid, or at least fucking placement of this baby, that he has been assaulted or made to do things with those little white girls, because this is a play. The fucking play is about them, and the kids are playing them. Do you not understand this? They cannot go to school. They cannot participate in extracurricular activities. Nobody is allowed to see those fucking kids or hear from those kids. Why? Because kids are brutally honest. Why? Because kids tell on shit on fucking accident. Why? Because you can tell when a kid is fucked up, even if they're not telling on a motherfucker. You can tell.
This was a united front, a village built on love, truth, and an unwavering commitment to justice. The optics alone were devastating for Drew. While he sat there, disheveled and detached, barely mustering the energy to engage, Desiree's side of the courtroom was a vibrant display of loyalty and purpose. Her supporters weren't just present, they were vocal, their energy a constant reminder of who's truly fighting for Deshawn. Drew's failure to even acknowledge his own mother as he passed her in the courtroom only deepened the narrative of his indifference. He didn't just ignore her. He walked by like she was invisible, a move so cold it speaks volumes about his priorities. Desiree, meanwhile, had every base covered, her lawyer strategically positioned, her allies unwavering, and her focus razor-sharp. The contrast was stark. One side pulsing with dedication, the other a lone figure slumped in apathy. When your own family publicly picks the other side in a custody battle, it's not just a loss, it's a resounding verdict on your character. Desiree's never been the issue. She's been the answer. And that courtroom moment made it impossible to argue otherwise.
I just want to say shout out to Drew's family for supporting Desiree. I want to say shout out to Arlita for supporting Desiree. I want to say shout out to Rights and Rights for supporting Desiree. I think going through this process as a community, we realize now how easy it would be to give up and just say, forget it, they're not even listening to me. But because the community supported her, because she had a village behind her, Desiree's going to come out successful. But I was just thinking how Deshawn's going to feel, because you know right now he's hearing the most horrible possible things, right? So it's going to be a big transition for Deshawn. And I say kudos to Desiree for saying that she wanted to honor his transition. I think that's amazing, and I think that shows she's a real mom. I was thinking how Stephanie must be feeling right now, and I think right now Stephanie's probably losing it. I think that she is realizing she has no control over anything. Drew has a job now, so she's now lost control of Drew. So now he's working at night, doing gig work during the day. He's never going to be there. Deshawn's gone on the weekends. She's losing supporters left and right. Her views are down, right? Her whole, everything that she's been trying to build is crumbling before her eyes. And I'm sure she's losing it. And I'm sure Deshawn and all those kids are privy to her freak out, the crash out that we know that she's having. And then I was thinking about the way Drew was dressed for court. That screams to me active addiction. The fact that either you just don't care and you want Deshawn to go home with his mom, that's one thing. But not changing your clothes, that screams to me addiction. Then I was thinking, Stephanie's losing a lot of weight, right? She's breastfeeding. I lost a ton of weight when I breastfed, right? Really quickly. But I didn't lose my eyebrows. That's like some tweaker stuff. You lose your eyebrows. You pick your face. So there's that. So at least hopefully Deshaun's going to see what a real family is, and he's going to want to stay with his mom more and more. I think urban air is probably in Deshaun's future, and I think that that's amazing, and I think that that's going to irk Stephanie even more. And I think that Desiraye does need to be aware that Stephanie is a manipulative, evil person. So I really just hope that they don't make it difficult on Deshaun when he comes home. I hope that they don't make him feel bad because his sisters didn't get to go. I hope that they don't put things in his head to try to make him say bad things about Desiraye. As a former foster parent, I dealt with a lot of kids that came with trauma, and one thing we did do is have cameras all over our house so that there was never any concern, discrepancy, anything. Maybe that should be something we could donate for Desiraye, is some cameras for the inside of her house, just for safety measures. Not because I think Deshaun is a bad kid or would even think that up, but I think Stephanie's a bad person. And then I think, how does Drew feel? I think Drew feels relief. I think Drew sees that his out is coming, and I think that that's what he really wants. So just my last thoughts on the saga for tonight. Shout out to all the family members and to Rights and Right, probably who's become like family. You guys are amazing.
The judge in this custody saga didn't come to play, delivering rulings that tighten the reins on Drew Jenkins while handing Desiraye the control she's long deserved. The existing visitation framework stays in place, but with ironclad boundaries to protect Deshaun's time with his mother. Drew's days of lingering during visits, casting his manipulative shadow, are over. The court made it crystal clear. His role is to drop Deshaun off and disappear until Desiraye says otherwise. No more hovering, no more sneaky recordings, no more attempts to twist the narrative in his favor. Every arrangement must now be locked in 48 hours in advance, with Drew required to confirm promptly and clearly. No more of his signature vagueness or last-second cancellations. The first visit under this new setup is set for Monday, July 28th, and Desiraye holds all the cards. She decides the where, the what, and the how. Whether it's a sunny afternoon at the park with ice cream dripping down their hands, a cozy movie marathon, or simply sitting together, laughing over toys and reclaiming lost moments. This is her time to be the mother she's always been, free from interference. The rulings didn't stop there, and what came next was a game changer.
Eyes. When I say you was sat, and FYI, yes, Mama came, baby. Mama came. Mama came, I came, Arlita came, and both husbands came. He didn't say nothing to my mom. He walked right by her. And Desiraye, you can't see, this is where he was sitting. Desiraye was sitting over here with her lawyer. Of course, Desiraye came, duh. She's no fool. He did not take his hood off. I got there. I arrived after everybody else, so he did not see me. He probably heard my voice, but he did not see me until he was leaving. And when I tell you at the end, they hand you a paperwork, he got up out of there, and I got up, and I followed him to the elevator. He skipped off and went to the bathroom. I was like, oh, no, we're going to ride the elevator together. Come on. This is a family affair. You wanted to say something to me so bad. Here I am. But you didn't say nothing. You ran away. I would run, too. Why are you running from me? I'm only 5'2". What am I going to do to you? Yeah, y'all. Arlita and everybody is out to eat right now. I needed to take a mommy break and go home for a second. Who is in here?
Starting August 1st, Desiraye was granted overnight weekend visits, a victory that carries the weight of years of her relentless fight. This means Deshaun will spend alternating weekends under his mother's roof, enveloped in her care, her routines, her warmth. One weekend, he's stuck in the chaotic orbit of Drew and Stephanie's world. The next, he's waking up to Desiraye's voice, eating her breakfast, and living in the calm stability she provides. These aren't just fleeting visits with rushed goodbyes at the door. They're full weekends where Deshaun can settle in, feel the rhythm of his mother's home, and build memories over quiet mornings and bedtime stories. This is the kind of bonding that shapes a child's heart. Pancakes on the table, soft conversations, and the slow, steady healing of a relationship that was unjustly disrupted. Desiraye's not just getting time, she's getting the chance to show Deshaun what life can be, free from the turmoil Drew and Stephanie have spun around him. This shift in the custody dynamic isn't just a legal win, it's a restoration of what was wrongfully taken, a chance for Desiraye to finally step fully into the role she was never allowed to abandon.
Not even 24 hours after Drew Jenkins' last court date, Stephanie is already breaking the court order, once again posting Deshaun on her social media, and at this point, I can't believe she is this dense. In my opinion, they're breaking the court order on purpose, in an attempt to give Desiraye full custody while also playing the victim. As the judge already said, if Drew is in contempt, he will give full custody to Desiraye. I think they're going to continue to break the court order until Deshaun is taken away. And then they're going to come cry on live saying that they're a victim and that he's been ripped away from his family and they did nothing wrong, and then probably set up another GoFundMe. Other funny points in this morning's video. Stephanie said Drew is now working nights and it's weird for the kids not having him around. If one parent going to work in the household is absolutely crazy, kids shouldn't be upset when he's at work. Should be upset when they see him sitting in the motel room when he should be at work so that he can make money and provide them their own room. But I digress. And talked about how she never sets up the camera and this is all her real life. She's so tired making a 1-minute voiceover. The fact that she's making these videos, not even getting ready, not doing anything special, sitting in her hotel room, and acts like making a 1-minute voiceover is just so draining. It's like being at work for 8 hours. As always, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I personally think in a few weeks, Deshaun will no longer be in their care.
The judge wasn't here for Drew Jenkins' tired playbook, especially not his go-to excuse that Deshaun doesn't want to see his mother. That argument was sliced apart with surgical precision. Deshaun is a child, molded by the adults around him, and any hesitation he feels is a direct result of the environment Drew and Stephanie have cultivated. The court wasn't swayed by this flimsy reasoning, emphasizing that children don't dictate these decisions, responsible adults do. Deshaun's need for his mother's presence outweighs any temporary reluctance, and Drew was firmly reminded of his duty to foster that bond, not obstruct it. His track record of undermining Desiraye's relationship with her son is a glaring failure, and the judge made it abundantly clear that this responsibility is non-negotiable. Drew's role is to support Deshaun's connection with both parents, not to sabotage it with his self-serving narrative. The courtroom also took a hard stance on therapy, mandating it as a critical piece of Deshaun's healing process. Drew predictably tried to shrug it off, claiming he didn't need it, as if his comfort were the priority. The judge shut that down fast, underscoring that this is about Deshaun's emotional well-being, not Drew's ego. Therapy is now a court-ordered requirement, and if Drew dares to skip out, it could be the final strike that dismantles his already shaky standing. This isn't just a suggestion, it's a lifeline for a child caught in the crossfire of adult games, and the court's insistence on it shows they're prioritizing Deshaun's mental health over Drew's stubbornness. It's a move that speaks volumes about the judge's commitment to doing what's right, even when one parent seems determined to do anything but.
So let's be real, Stephanie Jenkins has a new bestie. Yes, I said it. Stephanie Jenkins has a new bestie. The obsessor of all times, Jenna. Now, we just had this conversation about Jenna not too long ago, how she is an obsessor and literally talks about every mom on social media. But I kind of find it funny how she's becoming besties now with Stephanie. Yeah, I'm sorry, but no. That is the most fakest thing I've heard all day. Now, if you guys don't know who Jenna is the girl that's been posting my DV case all over TikTok for the hell of it. But what I've learned is that she doesn't even know how to be a true supporter, nor does she know how to pick a side of what the hell she talks about. So everybody, let me know in the comments what you think about Miss Jenna now Jenkins, since we all know that she used to come at me and Morgan, now Mama D, and now she wants to become besties with, like I said, Stephanie Jenkins. Tell me what you guys think in the comments about that.
Desiree's legal recognition as Deshaun's mother was another monumental win, long overdue and deeply earned. She's now officially listed on his medical records, giving her the authority to make decisions about his health care, doctor's appointments, medications, emergency care, all the things a mother should have been empowered to handle from the start. This strips away the control Stephanie had wrongly assumed, erasing her ability to insert herself into decisions that were never hers to make. The shift is seismic. Stephanie's overreach has been nullified, her grip on Deshaun's life legally severed. And then there's the school ruling, a victory that hits hard. For the 2025 to 2026 school year, Desiraye will be recognized as Deshaun's primary parent. Just months ago, she was treated like an outsider at his school, blocked from meetings, unable to check his progress or even confirm he was there. Now, she can stride into parent-teacher conferences, sign permission slips, review report cards, and advocate for her son with the authority she was denied for so long. This isn't just a win, it's a reclamation of her rightful place in Deshaun's life, a restoration of everything Drew and Stephanie tried to erase.
The resilient Jenkins. So, Drew would now have to drop Deshaun off with his mom, okay? Which is really good, really good. She gets some time with Deshaun, stuff like that, some one-on-one time, without being watched and all like that. Drew now has a job. Don't know how long he'll keep that job. Hopefully he keeps it long enough, you know, pay down some child support, you know, and save some money up, maybe get a house, something like that. Because y'all, I think Drew need to get away from Stephanie, all right? I really do. I think Stephanie's trying to sabotage Drew, all right? Drew need to say something to Stephanie and say, stop posting videos of my son. So Stephanie got to stop this. I feel as though if Drew put his foot down and say something to Stephanie, Stephanie would get very angry, and it would start a real bad argument, okay?
The courtroom victory for Desiraye transcended legal technicalities, marking a profound turning point that dismantled every false story spun to marginalize her. This wasn't just about gaining visitation rights. It was about the court affirming her as Deshawn's mother, validating her relentless perseverance, and cementing her rightful place in his life. Her fight, her heart, and her unyielding love were finally given the acknowledgement they deserved, rewriting the narrative that tried to erase her. But the judge didn't stop at restoring her role. She laid down a gag order that's as ironclad as it gets. This isn't a suggestion or a polite request. It's a blanket ban on all parties, with no wiggle room. No cryptic social media posts, no veiled TikTok rants, no sly comments in YouTube live streams, no interviews, no podcasts, nothing. The court demanded total silence on the case, and Stephanie, who's already proven she treats legal orders like optional guidelines, is explicitly included. Last time, she had the gall to claim she wasn't directly informed, as if a judge's ruling needed to be hand-delivered by Drew for it to count. That excuse won't fly anymore. Her days of playing ignorant are over. The judge's warning was a thunderclap, aimed squarely at Drew and Stephanie. If either of them dares to violate this gag order, the consequences won't be a slap on the wrist. The court promised an expedited hearing that could flip custody entirely, placing Deshawn with Desiraye full-time. This isn't a vague threat. It's a clear boundary, a line drawn so boldly it practically dares them to cross it. One misstep, one rogue post, one attempt to spin the narrative online, and they could lose everything. No amount of backpedaling, no tearful apologies, no crowdfunding campaigns can undo that kind of violation.
Stephanie's the type of person who don't like being told what to do. I mean, Drew is too, but Stephanie's also that way, okay? I feel like Drew really cared about his son. He'd go in and tell her, look, this is not going to work if you don't keep going against court orders. I gotta go to court, you get me in trouble, you know, make me look bad, you know, and if you don't stop this, something gotta change, you know. That's what I think Drew should really do. Now, that's another court date coming up, of course, you know, Drew trying to pay down that child support so he can, I guess, get on the judge's good side when it comes to child support, stuff like that. He owes so much money now, I believe. He ain't paid the years, they say, so working about that. But I really am rooting for Drew to do the right things, you know, keep a job, get his own place. I do think he needs his own place, okay? And, you know, start from there, you know what? Desiraye, hopefully she do get full custody, you know. But I think deep down, Drew might care that he don't want to give up full custody to Desiraye. But right now, his mental, he's not there right now to want to do anything, to be honest with you. It's a shit show.
The court has built a fortress of protection around Desiraye and Deshawn, ensuring their bond can grow without the toxic interference of Drew and Stephanie's antics. It's a system designed to hold them accountable, and the judge's tone made it clear she's not playing games. If they test her, the hammer will fall, swift and unyielding. Drew's behavior after the hearing only reinforced his refusal to face reality. Instead of reflecting on the court's rulings, he made a point of ignoring his own family in the most blatant way possible. His mother, Jolene, and his sister stood there, hoping for some shred of accountability, some acknowledgement of the pain he's caused. Jolene, visibly raw and fed up, wasn't looking to pick a fight. She just wanted an honest moment, a chance to confront the lies Drew's been spinning, especially about their family's past and their father. But Drew, he couldn't even muster a glance. He breezed past them like they were strangers. His silence louder than any words could be. It's a chilling display of his detachment, not just from his family, but from any sense of responsibility. Desiraye, meanwhile, continues to rise above, her focus locked on Deshawn's future, proving with every step that she's the parent he needs. The court's rulings aren't just a win. They're a shield, ensuring her bond with her son can finally flourish without Drew and Stephanie's relentless sabotage.
Rights, and whoever else is on here that was with her today will probably come out with another update. Drew's sister was on live and she gave a whole update. They didn't want us to screen record, so we didn't do that. But it was a huge success for Desiraye. With that being said, if Drew doesn't follow the new and updated court order, it sounds like there will be an emergency hearing to decide primary custody of Deshawn. I take that as Desiraye will end up with primary custody, which is literally like what we want to begin with. Also, don't bombard Desiraye with any questions. She's no longer allowed to speak about anything, as Drew and Stephanie were again told to not speak about anything. How much y'all want to bet that Stephanie's going to break that? I'm willing to bet that she will at some point. Anyways, I am so happy for Desiraye. Congratulations, Desiraye. This is a win, a big win, and I can only see things getting better from here.
Drew Jenkins' exit from the courtroom was a masterclass in avoidance. His head bowed, eyes averted, body language screaming guilt. He moved like someone caught red-handed, too ashamed to face the truth laid bare before the judge, his family, and the world. His own mother, Jolene, and sister, Arita, stood waiting for a flicker of accountability. But Drew brushed past them as if they were ghosts, his silence colder than any words could be. This wasn't just dodging a conversation, it was a man unraveling, fully aware that his lies had been exposed. His family's presence on Desiraye's side already stripped away his last shred of support, and now, unable to even meet their eyes, he's left with nothing but the weight of his own actions. The court's rulings have left him isolated, his narrative in tatters, and his refusal to engage only deepens the picture of a father who's checked out emotionally and morally. The judge's decision to maintain a gradual transition for Deshawn shows a careful balance, prioritizing his emotional stability over abrupt upheaval. After years of being distanced from his mother, yanking him from the only home he's known could do more harm than good. Instead, the court crafted a thoughtful path, starting with visits, moving to overnights, and building toward equal custody. This approach reflects an understanding of Deshawn's needs, giving him time to reconnect with Desiraye while preserving some familiarity. But the ruling comes with a clear warning for Drew. Any further missteps could accelerate this timeline, potentially costing him everything. Desiraye, in contrast, remains laser-focused on her son's well-being, never pushing to disrupt his world, but simply asking for her rightful place in it. Her selflessness stands in stark relief against Drew's apathy, proving once again why she's the parent Deshawn needs.
So, Stephanie here says she's allowed to post him. This person said he's not supposed to be posted, and Stephanie said, wrong, the case is not supposed to be posted about, and that's not happening on my end. Go spew lies elsewhere. Okay, but like, she was told by the judge, well, Drew was told by the judge, that Deshawn needed to stop being posted, and they need to also stop talking about his mother, Desiraye. That was part of the first court hearing, like, what, a month and a half ago? And then in this most recent court hearing that happened like two days ago, they told Drew and Desiraye that both parties, so they're the two parties in the case, cannot discuss the case. But on Desiree's side were all of her supporters that showed up with her that were in the same courtroom. Those are not parties in the case. Those visitors in the courtroom who overheard what happened because they were sitting there, they're more than welcome to talk about the case. The parties, so Drew and his significant other Stephanie cannot talk about it, and Desiraye cannot talk about it. But they're not. Desiree's not. It's everybody else.
Stephanie's behavior, however, takes this drama to another level of audacity. Just days before the hearing, she fired off a text to Desiraye not to coordinate or collaborate, but to demand that all co-parenting communication go through her, as if she, the girlfriend, holds any legal weight. This wasn't a request. It was a brazen attempt to gatekeep Deshawn's life, positioning herself as the ultimate authority. Worse, she had the nerve to claim Deshaun would never see Desiraye as his real mom because of her absence, conveniently ignoring that she and Drew were the ones who blocked Desiree's calls, changed their numbers, and even called the police when she tried to check on her son. That's not absence, that's sabotage. Now, with Desiraye restored as the official emergency contact and granted full parental rights, Stephanie's self-appointed role has been obliterated. She's no longer the decision-maker, no longer the one calling shots she was never entitled to. What's driving Stephanie's spiral isn't just the loss of control, it's jealousy, plain and simple. She once complained that Deshaun receiving gifts from Desiraye was unfair to her own kids, as if a mother's love for her son is a threat to her household. Now, with court-ordered overnights, Deshaun gets to experience his mother's care, her cooking, her stories, her undivided attention, things Stephanie's home never provided. That reality is clearly eating her alive, and the question lingers. Will she respect the court's orders, or is she already scheming to disrupt this reunion? The judge saw through their manipulations, holding Drew and Stephanie accountable for Deshaun's best interests. But their history suggests they're not done yet.
This is why I keep saying that they want Deshaun to go to his mom. Like, there's no other way. Why is he in the video? Why is Deshaun in your new video that you posted to TikTok when he's not supposed to be? That was the agreement. But somehow Stephanie Thompson and also Drew Jenkins can't seem to follow basic instructions, you guys. And those are the kind of people that really upset me, are the people that no matter what you do cannot follow simple instructions. Like, they refuse. I don't get it, but yet they want the system to keep benefiting them. Let's put a pause on that, or a little pin. However, let's talk about something else now. I do not like, again, the fact that the older, I think her name is Addie. Addie is always holding that baby. Why is she in the background taking care of your child, and Atlas is in the background looking like he's getting neglected on the reg? Like, as long as you make your TikTok videos, Stephanie Thompson. But go ahead and follow me because I post more videos like this.
What do you think? Will Desiraye finally get her uninterrupted time with her son? Or is more chaos brewing? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Thank you all for watching this wild ride unfold. I'm so grateful for your support. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next chapter. Check out the videos popping up on your screen for more drama and updates. Have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next one.